Good morning, social media. I want to go live, but I haven't gotten there yet. Wanted to talk about something that came to my attention, and excuse my non-eye contact because I am on the road on my way to work. So I'm, of course, paying attention to the road. But had a conversation with one of my homeboys / could be my family. We haven't determined completely if we're really related. But his son was supposed to be coming into town. He texted me last week to let me know. Of course, with him texting me, I'm thinking that he wants me to meet his son coming from out of town. So me remembering the text from him, reached out to him yesterday and was like, hey, is your son here? And he was like, nah, he didn't come. I hadn't heard from him or his mom. So my response, of course, was, did you reach out? And his response was, right. So I was like, what does that mean? Right. Now we're texting at this point. And I pretty much was like, okay, so was he supposed to come by himself or was he supposed to come with his mother? And he was like, he was supposed to come by himself. So immediately in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, so bruh, you need to call and check on what happened or what have you. And I pretty much responded, communication is the key. And of course he gave me his, definition of communication. It's two-way, and if all parties need to be involved, and if not, then it's a monologue and not a dialogue. And I'm like, okay, here we go. But, I understand where he was coming from. My whole thing is we have to do our part. If you were supposed to get your son coming from out of town, you say you haven't heard from his mom, but you didn't reach out either, then that's not going to help the situation. Both parties, regardless of the animosity, regardless of what's going on between you two, the child is involved, basically deserves better than that from both of you all. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. If he was coming down, it's the summertime, he's coming down to spend time with you. So it's up to you to make sure that you do your part and you've done what you needed to do to make sure you've tried to reach out to her. Now, I have this argument because I called him 3 times. After us going back and forth texting, I tried to call. Couldn't get through. So then my response to him at this point, because when I tried to call, the phone went straight to voicemail 3 times. So I said, now if I'm trying to call and can't get through, guess what? Baby mama might have been trying to call and couldn't get through. So my immediate response was to text him and say, hey, bro, I just tried to call you 3 times and I could not get through. Maybe baby mama tried to call you and could not get through. But not only that, with my wonderful friend, there are times that I can call his phone and he don't answer. So at the end of the day, and this is a common thing with him, that even sometimes his cousins will call me because we're all friends. Have you heard from so-and-so? Nah, I haven't heard from him. Or what have you. Or, oh yeah, I talked to him the other day. Well, I've been calling him and I can't get through. Or he's not answering his phone. Well, and our response was, so-and-so, sometimes he just don't answer his phone. So at the end of the day, it's like, we have to look at ourselves before we start blaming other people and saying, oh, they're not communicating, or I don't know what happened, or what have you. Especially when it comes to baby mama and baby daddies, we have to make ourselves available to one another regardless of what the situation is, regardless of how much you may not be able to stand that person, or whatever the case may be. It is not about you at that moment. It's not about you at that moment. It's about that child. And the thing about it, the crazy part, is the fact that growing up, he didn't have the relationship he may have wanted to have with his father. And so now it's history repeating itself. Clearly, it's history repeating itself. Now, don't know what happened with his mom and dad during that time back in the day, but I can see what's happening now with you and your child and your baby mama. So we have to do better as parents, and me included. I'm the first to say, hey, and I can talk and I can speak to it, because the same thing with my baby father. For years, tried to reach out, call, never answer the phone. Never answer the phone, because he can't stand me. Go figure. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Can't stand me. Okay. All right. I get it. But it's not about you, bro. It's about our son. And I stopped reaching out to him, because I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna keep calling somebody that ain't answering my phone calls or what have you. I've made it plain. I've tried. And you're not responding. So clearly you don't want to have a relationship. That may not be the case. He may want to have a relationship, but just can't get past his feelings, his emotions, whatever the case. No, that's not my problem. No, I can't fix that. No, I'm not Super Saver. I'm not going to try to be. But at the end of the day, I still can say, okay, make an effort. Reach out at least once a month, once a week or whatever. Well, no, once a week is too much. But once a month or whatever, and say, hey, you all right? You still breathing? At least make that attempt to make a phone call and see if they answer. If they don't, then at least you can say you tried. You don't owe nobody nothing, no. But at least for your child's sake, and be clear with your child, as far as not making the person look bad, the other parent look bad, but basically be honest with your child as to what's taking place, between you and your baby father or baby mother or whatever. Don't ever badmouth one another. That's not it. That's not where it's at. But check yourselves. That's all I'm saying. Take a look at yourself. Take a look at the mirror and say, hey, have I done everything I could in this situation? Or what could I have done better in this situation? Or whatever, to make, this is a better situation for us to communicate, or whatever the case may be. I just thought that's heavy on my heart, because, like I said, I tried calling and couldn't get through. And now, he might be thinking that he's right. Oh, well, I haven't even heard from her. I haven't heard from him or her. Bro, have you reached out, bro? Have you even called? Have you even picked up the phone? Have you even tried? Yeah, the last conversation you had was that he was coming, and supposed to call you when he got to the airport, or whatever the case may be. But check in. Check in. Ain't nothing wrong with checking in. Check in sometime. Check on people. I don't know. My opinion. Who am I? I'm just little old me.